And thank you for your remarks. My remarks are directed more at ethics than the leadership that you just spoke about. However, I think a few things that I say will certainly resonate with what you just said, and I'll try and keep my remarks relatively brief. I'd like to start by making the point that sport at the elite level, or the very top levels, is no longer amateur. It's professional. Professional has many meanings, and we think of professional in terms of professional sport like the primary leagues in football and other sports around the world. But I mean, when I use the term, much more than that. Many sports have become professional. They're not amateur anymore. It's a business first and a sport second. And as a business, the objective is to win. And in some cases, at all costs. Consequently, certain behaviors are accepted or encouraged that otherwise would be undesirable in community-level sports. Sports organizations now are multi-million-dollar operations. National sporting organizations, or NSOs, are under pressure to develop and maintain sound management practices while maintaining their podium performance. Now, there's an inherent conflict when it comes to doping and corruption and other forms of corruption between the objectives of maximizing the business and the objectives of sport. And we need to sort that issue out. Turning to athletes for a moment. They're supposed to be the embodiment of fair play, loyalty, courage, and self-sacrifice. However, the ultimate purpose of performance has a cost, an ethical cost, to be precise, because beyond this ideal, there is a reality of sport, a reality regularly tarnished by failures, transgressions, offenses, cheating, misappropriation, violence, and injuries. And the whole reason behind that is the win at all costs attitude. Often, too often, the ideal of sport is engulfed by its reality. And this focus of winning at all costs in sport is comparable, this is where it resonates with what you were saying, to the business notion of maximizing profits or other short-term, solely financial performance metrics. It's not a sustainable model. Now, I want to leave you with 4 points, which maybe we can pick up as we go along through the day and in the discussion. First of all, in terms of sporting organizations, I think the time has come and there's a strong need now for compliance and compliance officers who examine constantly sporting federations and their compliance with their own policies and procedures and objectives. And together with that, I think you need to develop ombudspersons who can look into alleged transgressions, whatever they may be, carry out investigations internally within the organization, and report to those who make decisions within the organization. First point. Second, when it comes to major sporting events, there ought to be a 2-year and a 1-year review by independent organizations certifying that the values and the ethics and the compliance with policies that are stated to be the objectives are in fact being achieved as we move closer to the date of the event. Thirdly, I think you need to change the incentives on personal behavior. Stop the environment that makes members covet positions and value more than what they're doing for the sport, all of the surrounding trappings and perks that they get, along with travel, accommodation, food, entertainment, etc. Things that they would not be able to support by simply relying on their day-to-day income from their regular day job. And finally, in terms of governance of sporting organizations, The model of the single person with complete control and the only person who can bind the organization simply doesn't work anymore. There's too much concentration of power in presidents of international federations or general secretaries or some other individual within the organization. And if we're going to achieve a more ethical sporting environment and world, we need to change the governance model. Thank you.